Hello, everyone. This is Haley and Casey Trujillo. We're joined by Brigitte and Marty Schroeder. Thank you for being here. We are actually in Act Two. If you remember the story that we had before, Marty and Brigitte told us their amazing health journey. And then there was a little surprise that came along. Brigitte, tell us a little of the good news. What's taken place since the last time we've talked?
We embarked on our journey December of 2019, and I dropped down about 122 pounds at the time, and Marty was at, I believe,
So I
eight. I'm not
I was
sure.
I was at 420 and then now at 269.
Yeah, and
yeah.
so we
Unbelievable.
dropped considerable amount of weight. Our twins came on board, and they also lost about 32 pounds each, and are kind of maintaining that right now. So super exciting. We found good health, good energy, great sleep, a great community of just good friends, and just an awesome experience overall. But come this last August, we had a little surprise come our way. And just as a little background, we kind of struggled with infertility our entire marriage. We've been married 20 years, Casey, and in those 20 years, we were not able to have our biological children, but we adopted our 4 children, and that was a blessing, and we love that. But we struggled with infertility, and so in August, we had a little surprise. We got a positive pregnancy test out of the blue. It was not like expected, and medically speaking, and this is how I describe it to most people that are in awe, like we shouldn't have been able to have this little baby. And so it was a huge surprise, quite the emotional blessing. And we are excited to introduce the newest Schroeder. And this is baby girl Hope.
So precious.
Who was born just this last February, and super healthy, came just a tad bit early, but we know that part of her getting here was our health, and we just are so grateful, and we're so excited. So
That's amazing. I want to pause right here just on a couple different items. Just to talk.
Yeah.
Is number one, as my wife and I have been doing this for some time. It's amazing the new life that people find within themselves. Not everyone gets this opportunity to have an actual new life come to their family as Hope has. So one of the things that we want to mention is we hope that this message that you're hearing today is one of inspiration, not one of comparison or to make you feel sadness if you're not able to have this miracle that Brigitte and Marty were able to have. One of the things that this was not the reason for your health journey. Your health journey was, I want to get healthy, and this just happened. The crazy part about this is not only were you lucky enough to have a little baby Hope, but how did you already get back to an amazing health journey already? Brigitte, you look amazing. Like how did you already do that? That's crazy.
You're so kind. So really, truly, honestly, one of the greatest blessings of being in this program and learning all that I had already learned in the 8 months prior to getting pregnant was I knew what to eat. I knew what was going to keep my blood sugars level and my body healthy and my baby healthy. And I just followed Dr. Anderson's recommendations for healthy living as if I was in maintenance. Obviously, I wasn't trying to lose weight during pregnancy. I was happily gaining. And I just ate really well. And I because I had learned how to stop and challenge and choose and work through triggers and cravings, I didn't succumb to even pregnancy cravings like really at all, because I was very determined to get her here in the healthiest way possible. And so that came because I had all of that time to like just get myself well in my mind and in my body. And I'm not saying it was easy, but it was just doable, and I've had the tools and I felt confident doing it. So that's how, and I'm 1 pound less than my starting pregnancy weight, and she's about a month old. So yeah.
It sounds like she created some habits, I'd say.
Yeah.
The real question though is Marty, did you give into your cravings? Like, there's stress for the husbands. I know we don't go through anything that you go through, but I know there's some stress eating on the dad side. How did you do, Marty, during this whole time?
I fared pretty well. There was a little spike, and I remembered how amazing she is, and like snapped me back into place. It was awesome. Nothing but love. But Yeah, I mean, as we're getting a new leash on life, really, and bringing new life in, you're talking about all the benefits that come. And I used to be 395 on my blood sugars daily, and my A1C was 13.8,
Mm.
and now I'm at 5.1. And literally 2 days ago, took my blood sugar, and it was 96.
Wow.
And so it's like so many amazing different changes, like. And yeah, I had a little spec up, but in the last 3 weeks, back on track with this sweet one, down 21.2 in 3 weeks. And
Okay,
so
that's
putting it in, plugging it in, making it happen again, and that's part of the wonderful journey too, right? I guess, but yeah, it wasn't without a little bit of spike for me. I was like, why am I eating a little bit like I shouldn't? And you're not. Like, she's just like, and I'm like,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask one more question. I'm gonna let Haley ask a couple, and then obviously we'll end here. But this is just such an amazing story. But as you two reflect upon this, how's it strengthened you as a couple to go on a health journey together? Is it easier? Is it harder? Do you find yourself fighting sometimes and saying, well, what are you eating? What are you eating? How has this helped? Well, talk to us a little bit about doing it together as a family. What that helps in the way that you go through and attack this health journey.
I'll tell you 100%. One of the reasons that we haven't succeeded in our 20 years of marriage in our health journeys previous, there's a number of reasons, but one of them is we didn't ever bring it together.
Ever. It was always separate.
It was like, hey, I'm ready, you're not, so I'm going to run, and then boom, boom, and it was like always like this. When we brought it together, we found there's true power, and when I'm weak, she's strong, and she's never weak. So I'm when she's wood, she's not weak. I just be strong along with her. Right? It really does empower. So it really changes. You know what? I'm not in this alone, and I know community is a big part of this whole thing we're doing. But when you can do this with your best friend, it changes things on a lot of levels. So it is very, very, very successful to find someone, particularly your life partner, your best friend, that has your back, and you have theirs. It changes the difficulty level. It changes the motivation and the inspiration for sure.
Yeah, and it made it a lot easier for our teenage twins to do their health journey with us, because here we were being the example a couple of months prior to them beginning, and then they were able to just kind of to tag along and just start and have confidence in it. And we were all having to make sacrifices, food sacrifices together, and it didn't feel as hard. And so there is like power in the numbers, and that's what the community of the habits of health is too. Like, we just get to have like that constant support, and when one's down, somebody else is up, and you just kind of count on each other. So it's been super powerful to do it together. And like he said, we hadn't before, and who's to say that because we were both our healthiest is why we were able to have hope come our way and conceive, that may have played a huge role in it. So yeah.
So okay. I got one more question. Sorry, honey. Then you ask your question. One last question. I gotta ask one more. I felt like Marty, obviously we've grown up together. I've known you. Both of you are amazing individuals. Why choose to change in your health? I mean, you guys have lived great. You've lived great lives. You already have had amazing lives. You've done so much to help your community. You guys are outgoing naturally. Why did you just say, I want to change this component? Because why change? I mean, there's no need to change. You guys were doing fine.
That's a great question.
I'll answer first. I think we had a lot going for us. I think our family was strong in a lot of ways. I think like we've been blessed with great families and just good friends all our life, and good jobs and good everything. But to be totally honest, if we really dissected our individual selves, we were kind of suffering with some things. There's fatigue and depression, and there's just anxieties, and there's not feeling well and not living to your potential. I remember just being paralyzed by the smallest of projects sometimes. And I think the reason I went on the health journey was to figure out like, what does the world have to offer? Like, what am I not tapping into? What am I missing out on? And it was a lot, and it was more than I realized. And once I had found that new sense of energy and just wellness, like I couldn't believe what I had kind of missed out on for 20 years, within our marriage, but just individually, so that's me. That's why I wanted to this
That's
journey.
so good. I heard someone say the first half of your life is building your vessel. The second half is deciding where you want to take it.
Love that.
I like that thought of what you just said there. That's fantastic. Marty, what about for yourself?
Well, actually, you as a mentor recommended a very powerful book. And in some of it's the Happiness Advantage that I'm referring to. Read it all the way through. And which is kind of a cool thing, by the way, for me. But in there, he was taught that there's a CEO that would always ask, what's on the other side of your business card, right? On the other side. And we had a beautiful face and a lot of things, but internally, when you're feeling like maybe you're not quite showing up for your family like you should, or even like maybe people think you are, like we were, but there was more, right? And when you start to get that freedom gained, you're like, oh my heck, this is what I've been missing out on. And so it just like drives you to want to do more. So when you open up an understanding like, hey, there is improvement to be made, we're doing well, but we can do better. It is powerful. Like, why not take it to another level? No matter where you're at, why not? Because you deserve to if you want to. And we really wanted to. We wanted to take it to the next level. And here we are having our sweet kids be a part of this with us. Even our littles who are at their maintenance level eat the fuelings. Even our sweet little bloodhound, basically. She's a mini golden doodle. She loves the fuelings. Like we give her some. She has a strong sense of like what's really good.
Yeah.
She will hound us until we give her a little bit. And so we're a hardcore fueling family. Like we all love the well-balanced macro that's come of it. It's put a new, absolutely, again, I've said it once, say it again, a new leash on life. One that until we started, we did not know was possible. And we know it's possible. We're never going to stop.
That's awesome, Marty. Great. Haley, take us home. You have a comment, question, thoughts?
I've just enjoyed listening here. Like I just want to be like the fly on the wall. I've been inspired just being here. Honestly, your story is just, it just warms my heart so much. And I just think about people who are on the other side, who are maybe watching this video. Would you say that you guys were ready to change your life when you first signed up?
I'll answer that real quick. No.
Or do you need to be ready? Like, do you need to be completely full on committed ready? Like what?
My coach, my beautiful sister who became our coach when she reached out in love to us, she asked me the question in the health assessment, what is your why? I came up with a brilliant answer, Haley, I'm going to tell you, but it wasn't really authentic. It was just what I thought sounded good. I didn't have a vision for myself. I hadn't given myself the priority I needed to obviously, because I had reached my highest weight ever. So I didn't really know how to answer that question because I never really took the time to like put myself in that place of priority. And so my answer to her was just a very generic answer, if you can understand that. And so I guess my point in saying that is I wasn't ready. I almost kind of kicking and screaming began the program only because I knew what she was offering me, and I knew what she was 90 pounds, and I knew like it would work for us, but I wasn't in that mental space, but I couldn't not take the chance because of her confidence in it. And I also knew I needed to get in gear. I just had to change something. But I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't know enough, but it took me only a week, you guys. And then at a month, I was fully convinced there was nothing that was going to stop me from what I was doing. And so, no, you don't have to be fully ready, because there's like, what would that look like? If we were fully ready, I wouldn't have been at the highest weight, ever. So I was needing help. And so that help is what got me started. And then I was able to take it from there. So.
Awesome.
I will say this though, we knew we weren't ready, but we knew what we wanted, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know even how possible it was, but like that's never stopped us before. Something that I think is really powerful is when me and Brigitte first met, she said, "Hey Marty, I have PCOS, and I do not know if that means we'll be able to have children, right?" And I looked in the eyes and said, "All I want is you. Like that's all I want is you, you know." And I think that you don't have to always be 100% ready. You just have to kind of know what you want and then be willing to step out and get it. And here we are, 20 years later, 5 kids in, and this newest one through a biological process we did not think was possible. And quite frankly, we thought we were good with 4. Like, we're so elated with Hope. Like, that's her name, is Hope, because it's like that gives us hope, right? But you don't have to be ready. You just have to know what you want. And when you do, things start manifesting themselves. They start coming into your life. Like this cute little one right
I
here.
know. We need to see one more shot of
I know,
her.
right?
Because she just opened her eyes. So hi. Okay, that's the best part of her.
Love that.
Look at that face.
Again, we hope for everyone that is listening that you're walking away feeling hope. We hope that you're not walking in any way of feeling shame or that hasn't happened to me. What we are talking about today is joining a community of like-minded individuals that are seeing what's on the other side and what comes, right? We're not able to control those aspects, but what we are able to control, what I've learned tonight, is I can control the way that I think, the way that I believe, the habits that I create. It looks like you have taken full advantage of this health community to work on your mental aspects of your belief and how you approach things. You've tapped into a community of like-minded individuals. You have a great coach that is there mentoring you and supporting you. And you have a simple process to be able to have perfectly balanced macro feelings to help you in accomplishing that. And that's the offer to everyone. That everyone can take advantage. Everyone can find hope in that and see that. Just recently, I was talking to an individual and they were asking me about this health journey and how do they be part of it, and explained it. And they just said, gosh, I'm just so sorry. I just don't think I can do that. I hope that doesn't make you feel bad. And I said, you're not saying no to me. You're saying no to you.
Yeah.
If you want to say yes to you, just let me know. That's what this is about. That's the hope that everyone should feel. Forget, Marty, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your heart, and congratulations. We are ecstatic that this is one of those blessings that came from your journey. That is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Take care, guys.
You guys rock.
Yeah.
Right.